Hello guys, thank you very much for clicking on this video. I very much appreciate it. So let's go ahead and talk about the monthly challenge for June 2017. As you guys know, we at the Gamemaker subreddit like to make these monthly challenges to help people become better game developers. We try to introduce new concepts, new techniques, new ways to make your game better. And so this month we're going to focus on sound assets. It's very easy it's very easy to forget about sounds, but really they're just as important as the visual side of the games. Hearing your character shoot or jump or die or win or get a bonus is uh is just as important as seeing that. It makes the world seem more alive. It makes the player feel like they're really, controlling and affecting the world. It adds that juice feeling to the game when you have sound effects that are appropriate. So that's what the challenge is about. The beginner challenge is basically asking people to add background music to your game, which is very, very basic and very easy to do. There's a nice little function called audio sound play or something. I forgot what it's called, but there's literally a function that's just you just supply a sound asset, a priority, and a loop flag, and it'll play the song for you. And as long as you put that loop to true, it'll continue to play after it finishes, and you just basically implemented background music for your game. Very easy. Intermediate challenge is asking to add sound effects. When you jump, when you shoot, when you get a power up, it's good to see it and it's good to hear it. Like I said, it adds a lot of value to your game to have little sound effects when stuff happens. It provides that feedback, the audio feedback, which is just as important as the visual feedback. And the expert challenge is asking users to modify those sounds on the fly by either, increasing the volume, decreasing by enabling or disabling the sounds, or you could even change the pan of the sound, make it play from the left side to the right side. You could change the pitch of the sound. There's lots of ways to modify the sound, and that's what the expert challenge is asking users to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and run my game real fast so you can see what's happening. So immediately you can hear the background music playing in the background. And then also if my character jumps, you can hear a little jump sound effect, like so. And then I have little buttons up here. If I click the minus, it'll reduce the volume of the sound and increase it. And then same with the sound effect. If I jump and minus, it gets quieter and quieter until you can't hear it. And if I go towards 1, it gets louder and louder. Simple as that. So let's go ahead and look at the code real fast. I have a function called play song. And basically, like I said, that's the function I was talking about, audio play sound. You supply a sound asset, which I have it stored in a list. A priority, which basically means, if you have a bunch of sounds playing at the same time, and if your game has to cut off some sounds because there's too many, it'll start, cutting off sounds with less priority. The number is arbitrary. It could be any number between 0 and 100, and as long as your sound assets, as long as your logic makes sense, it'll only cut off the sounds that are less important first. Obviously, in this challenge, I only have 2 sounds, so it's not going to be an issue. The third attribute is the loop flag. Normally, you would want your background music to be a 1 here so that it loops over and over. However, it's 0 for now because I'm doing something special, which I will go over later. Now, what this function returns though is the actual unique ID of this sound effect, like the specific sound effect that's playing right now. You want to capture that ID if you want to affect the volume, which is what this function does. Audio sound gain will change the volume of the sound ID that you pass in. So I'm passing in the music, and I'm passing in my global variable called music volume, and I'm passing in a time uh, variable. Basically, this third attribute lets you fade a sound in and out because this applies this gain over this amount of time in milliseconds. So if this were 1,000, the sound gain would happen over the course of a second. Again, letting you fade in and out music. For now, if you just set it to 0, it applies the sound gain immediately, which is fine for now for this challenge. If we look at my player jump function, it's extremely similar. Obviously, here's the logic for the movement, but as far as the sound, again, I'm simply passing in my sound asset name to the audio play sound, priority of 0, and obviously you don't want your character jump sound to loop. You only want it to play once every time you jump, and you don't want it to repeat. And just like with the music effect, I'm capturing the jump sound effect and affecting its volume with the audio sound gain function. If we look at those plus and minus buttons that I made, if you look at the left pressed event, you'll see that I'm simply lowering and raising my music volume and effects volume, depending on some flag that I made, the type of button that it is. And then I'm clamping the values, make sure they don't go under 0 or over 1. And then I'm affecting the music volume immediately by calling, again, the audio sound gain function with the music ID, which is stored inside my controller object. Very basic stuff. Not doing anything overly fancy other than this little gameplay thing that I'm going to show off. If we go to the next room, you'll notice that I have some blocks here, and they phase in and out in accordance to the beat of the music. So I can stand on these, but I can't stand on those. However, they phase in, and if you listen carefully, they're phasing in to the beat of the music. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So yeah, this is inspired from like a level from the Mario games, Mario Galaxy. There's a level where the blocks phase in and out just like this to the beat of the music. And I figured I'd do it for this challenge just to spice things up, since it's obviously music related. And like I said, I'm not doing anything super advanced to do this. The only thing that I'm doing really is, instead of looping my music by setting that flag to 1, instead I'm simply calling an alarm. I'm simply calling an alarm, the duration of which is the length of my song, right? You can use this handy dandy little function called audio sound length to get the duration of a music asset. And by doing that, I can basically, in essence, loop it by setting the alarm to that same length, right? So it'll play the song, and then as soon as it ends, the alarm hits, and it'll play the song again. And by putting all my sound assets in a list, I can iterate through them. So as you notice, the bars of the song actually change, right? That's a high pitch version, and then this is a low, 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 high, high, high. So, that's more audio feedback to let you know that the blocks are going to change. They're going to phase in and out. And yeah, so I'm just using, and I'm basically tying the block logic with the music. This top part of the function of the script has to do with the blocks going in and out, and right under that is my play song function. which plays the actual music. So that's the only special magic that I'm using, really. Instead of looping the song, I'm tying it to an alarm, and that allows me to, again, uh, tie the logic of the blocks and the sound going in and out. That way they're synced, and they're never going to get desynced because the logic is tied together. All I did was record bars, four separate bars of that song, split it up, put them in a list, and I'm iterating through them at all. Really basic stuff, and the effect is definitely fun. You could totally base a game or a level off this little gimmick, and yeah, it shows off the basic music functions. Really, it just goes to show how much more gameplay you can add with music and with sound effects, and it doesn't take that much work. So yeah, like always, if you guys have any questions over what I did or how I'm doing something, just go ahead and leave a comment here on the video or on the subreddit thread, and I'll be happy to show off more code and to explain what I did. So yeah, I hope you guys participate in the challenge. I hope you like this video, and I will see you guys later.